All right, so you sent us that Joe Rogan interview with Belal Muhammad.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Really excited to dig into this one.
Yeah, you know, he's the UFC welterweight champ now, and
It's crazy.
who would have thought, right?
Yeah. Not the typical, like, prodigy comes in and just takes the world by storm kind of story.
Exactly. And that's why this deep dive is so interesting.
For sure.
Like, we're going beyond the highlights.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what makes this guy tick.
Mhm.
You know, what's with the mindset, the training, like the whole shebang.
It's all about the work ethic, right?
Yeah.
This is a guy who wasn't just handed a championship.
Right.
He had to hustle for it.
He hustled, and he embodies that, like, always game attitude.
Oh, totally. And you hear it right from the beginning talking about those street fights in Chicago.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I mean, starting with trash talk during basketball.
I know I've been in those heated games,
Right.
but never did I think like, hey, let's take this to the octagon.
But for him, it was like something sparked.
Right.
He even said it all stemmed from there.
Yeah.
I was always the one talking trash. Even if I wasn't good, I thought I was the best.
Yeah.
Like
It just
that's
says it all.
that competitive spirit.
And you know what's so interesting is how he got into MMA.
Yeah. Tell me more.
It was like a chance meeting with his high school wrestling coach.
Okay.
And the coach was like, hey, you have potential.
Wow.
And this coach was like a former champ himself.
Ice.
And like convinced Belal to channel that like raw talent into MMA.
So 2 months later, he turns pro.
2 months?
Are you serious?
2 months later, he turns pro.
Wow.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I can barely commit to a gym routine for 2 months.
Right.
Let alone step into, like, a professional fight with, like...
Totally. Against other trained killers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's insane.
What do you call it? His version of, like, the biggest street fight in the world or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he's fearless.
And that's the thing, right? Like, 2 months of training and you're going pro, there has to be something more to it.
Right.
Like, you can't just be like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
going to be a professional fighter.
You would think you need a little bit more time to develop.
Right. Like, I feel like there had to be something else there.
Totally. You gotta think natural talent.
Yeah.
And that I'll fight anyone attitude.
Oh, but what's
else?
not going on there?
It's like that X factor, you know? Totally.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it comes down to his mindset.
Oh, for sure.
Like, the guy is incredibly strategic,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to breaking down his opponents.
Remember when he was talking about Leon Edwards?
Yeah. What did he say about him?
He said something about how Leon doesn't like to fight moving backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He picks up on those little details, those tendencies,
Wow.
and he exploits them.
So it's not just about, like...
It's not just brute force.
Right.
It's calculated.
It's almost like he's playing chess in the octagon.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you do that, though.
Yeah. How do you stay so calm?
When the adrenaline is pumping and you're in there and...
He's big on the mental game, for sure.
What'd he say?
Oh, man. There's this quote. It's something like, my coach always tells me, don't get crazy with the hype. Just stay focused on what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me of that Consommé quote about fear.
Ooh, which one is that?
Fear is a tool. If you
Yeah.
can control it, it's your friend.
I like that. Yeah, and you know what else struck me about Belal's mindset?
What's that?
That whole Ramadan training thing?
Oh, yeah.
Fasting from sunrise to sunset while you're training for a championship fight?
Yeah, that's another level.
That blows my mind.
It's wild.
Most people would be like, okay, I need to take it easy.
I need to refuel.
But he uses it to his advantage.
He says it pushes him mentally.
yeah.
You know, develops discipline.
Like a secret weapon.
Right.
And speaking of pushing limits, can we talk about his training methods?
Yeah.
Because this is where things get really interesting for me.
Okay. I'm listening.
He's all about sparring, even over mitt work.
Which is interesting, right?
Yeah, like most fighters are all about that mitt work.
Yeah, get those combinations down.
But he's like, nope, give me an actual body.
He's all about that feel.
He wants to be in the moment.
Yeah. Simulate the fight as much as possible.
Gauge his timing and his distance.
It's all connected.
And when you think about how he fights, he's not like married to one style.
Yeah.
He adapts to his opponent.
So it's less about like perfecting one technique
Right.
and more about mastering the flow.
The transition.
He's constantly tweaking those variables.
Yeah, and it's not just in the gym.
What else?
He was talking about how he meticulously tracks his food, his sleep, like everything
Just all data.
to optimize his performance.
The man's running his own performance lab 24/7.
And this dedication, this resilience,
It's incredible.
it really shines through in how he's dealt with setbacks in his career.
For sure.
I mean, that detached retina,
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
that could have been the end for him.
Seriously.
And he came back stronger,
Hmm.
more determined.
It's amazing.
And you got to think about the pressure, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is a guy who's been fighting injured,
Right.
taking fights on short notice.
During Ramadan, even.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's like he's always had that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he's been the underdog for a long time.
And for him to finally win that belt,
What a moment.
it wasn't just about him, you know?
Okay.
It felt like a win for a lot of people.
For sure.
Remember he talked about getting those messages from Palestine, from those kids in Gaza watching his fights?
That's the power of representation, man.
Sure. It gives me chills.
It's huge.
Like he's carrying that weight, that hope.
Yeah,
It's inspiring, man.
definitely. So where do you see him going from here? Like, what's next for Belal?
Oh, man.
The welterweight division is stacked.
It's so stacked.
So many killers.
You got Shavkat Rakhmonov,
Oh, yeah.
undefeated Hungary.
What a clash of styles that would be.
Right.
Totally different fighters.
Like, how do you even prepare for that?
And you can't forget about Usman.
Oh, man.
The possibility of a rematch.
Dude, a rematch with Usman would be legendary.
It would be insane. That first fight was so close,
I know.
down to the wire.
Could you imagine if he beat Usman again?
Oh, man.
After everything.
That would cement his legacy.
Like we are witnessing history.
But it all comes back to that same question.
What's that?
Can he do it again? Can he maintain this level
Against the best in the world.
against the killers at the top?
I don't know, man.
I mean, that's what makes it so exciting.
It's the million-dollar question, right?
It really is.
But no matter what happens,
Yeah.
Belal's story is one for the books.
It's inspiring.
Like, talk about defying the odds.
From street fights to the UFC title.
He bet on himself, and it paid off.
Amazing.
And you know what? I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this.
What's that?
No matter who you are or where you come from,
Yeah.
if you're willing to put in the work,
And have that belief.
anything is possible.
You said it.
This was awesome, man. Thanks for sending us this interview.
Yeah, this was fun.
We'll have to do another deep dive soon.
Sounds good.
All right, until next time.